Welcome. So what do you have to know to be able to multiply and divide rational expressions? Well, there's a couple things that we're going to get into with multiply and divide. First of all, you have to know how to multiply and divide, fractions. So again, just a quick little review when we're going over that. If I want to multiply fractions, let's say I have 3/4 times 2/5. Remember, when we're multiplying fractions, we're just multiplying them directly across. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So in this example, we'll have 6/20. But also, what I'll get into later is also simplifying our fractions, especially any times that we have numbers, or we're going to be talking about simplifying expressions as well. But a lot of times we'll have numbers that we're going to have to simplify as well. So to go ahead and simplify this, I'm going to have to reduce this fraction because 20 does not go into 6. However, I do know that 2 goes into 6 and 2 goes into 20. So I can reduce this to 3/10. Remember, when dividing fractions, let's say I'd have the exact same problem, but now I'm going to divide them. Remember, we're going to want to rewrite our division problem as a product. So to do that, I just take the reciprocal of my fraction I'm dividing into, and then I create that as a product. So that is going to how we're going to multiply and divide. So that's very, very important. The next thing to multiply fractions is knowing how to simplify. So first of all, we need to know our rules of exponents. And I'm not going to write down all the rules, but you need to know the division property, multiplication property, power property, power of multiplication, power of division, and yada, yada, yada. You need to know all of those properties of exponents, because when we multiply, when you're looking at a rational expression, we're multiplying them to. We're going to be multiplying expressions, so we're going to have to combine terms that are going to have exponents. So we need to make sure we know our rules of exponents as well as dividing to simplify them out. The next thing is we have to know how to factor. So important, and it's so common in this course and in so many other courses that I teach. We got to know our factoring skills. We got to know how to factor out the GCF. We got to know how to, that's probably not the right finger to be pulling out. Factor out the GCF. Factor using our special factoring, like difference of two squares, perfect square trinomial. Be able to factor out a trinomial. Factor out a trinomial when a equals 1, when a does not equal 1. Difference of two squares, difference of two cubes, all these different factoring techniques we have to make sure we know, because lastly, that I was going to go ahead and say is simplify rational expressions. And really, when the main important thing with simplifying rational expressions is, once we factor or once we factor or apply the rules of exponents, we need to simplify by either using the rules of exponents or more commonly using the division property, which I'll say which would be next. And basically, the division property, what that is stating is if we take a number divided by itself, that's always going to equal 1. For instance, we know that 4 divided by 4 equals 1. But that's not just holds true for numbers. It also holds true for expressions. If I said x squared divided by x squared, we know that equals 1. If I said x squared minus 1 divided by x squared minus 1, that also equals 1. So the whole process of simplifying is looking for applying the division property to get our rational expression in its simplest term. Then we can multiply and divide, following our process. And then after we've completed that, we always want to look to simplify again. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That is just some quick things you need to know to multiply and divide rational expressions. Thanks.